Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Good evening. Let's talk about the US dollar, the currency that's been the world's financial backbone for decades. But now, headlines warn of a brewing storm. China's bold moves to challenge the dollar's dominance. This isn't a movie plot, it's a real power struggle, and the stakes are global. For 50 years, oil and the US dollar have been inseparable, giving America enormous financial leverage. But like any landlord, the US is finding its tenants restless, and China is offering a new place to live. Imagine if the world's currency wasn't tied to oil, but to electricity. That's China's vision. A future powered by water, wind, and sun. If successful, this could turn the dollar from king to just another player. The new game? Geopolitical chess, where power plants and currencies are the pieces. Tonight, we'll explore how the dollar became king, and how China is building a new empire. Not on oil, but on power grids. From mega dams in Asia to solar farms in Africa, China is methodically creating a world where its currency, the renminbi, could buy the energy of tomorrow. This isn't just economics, it's the future of global power. And the future, it's electric. So buckle up, things are about to get shockingly interesting. Yes, I said shockingly, I'm not taking it back. To see where we're headed, let's rewind to the 1970s. In 1971, President Nixon cut the dollar's link to gold, leaving its value floating on trust and military might. The world needed a new anchor, and the US found it in oil. The US struck a deal with Saudi Arabia price oil in dollars, and America provides protection. Soon, all OPEC nations followed. If you wanted oil, you needed dollars. This created relentless global demand for the dollar, giving the US exorbitant privilege. America could print money, run deficits, and fund itself cheaply, because the world needed dollars for oil. Central banks everywhere stockpiled dollars, effectively giving the US a massive interest-free loan. For 50 years, oil was the world's lifeblood and the dollar was the only way to get it. But what happens when the world wants a new kind of energy? The petrodollar system made the US dollar king. But every king's reign ends eventually. The question is, what comes next, and who will write the new rules? Oil has powered the world for a century, but its reign is fading. Climate change is now a costly reality, forcing governments to act. Meanwhile, renewables like solar and wind have become cheap and efficient. Battery tech is solving the problem of storing energy for when the sun isn't shining. Electricity from renewables is now often cheaper than fossil fuels. Oil's volatility, subject to wars and supply shocks, makes it a risky foundation. For China, the world's top oil importer, this dependence is a strategic liability. Why rely on unstable regions for your energy? The world is shifting from oil and gas to electrons. Electricity is the new oil. It powers everything from data centers to electric cars. The nation that controls this new energy source will shape the future. China sees this shift and is betting big on it. The transition isn't just about being green, it's about economic survival. Oil's era is ending. Electricity is taking the throne, and China wants to be the new kingmaker. If oil backed the dollar, China wants electricity to back the yuan. Their plan? Make the renminbi essential for buying and building the world's energy infrastructure. Welcome to the era of the electro-yuan. China isn't just producing electricity, they're exporting the technology and building the infrastructure: dams, solar panels, wind farms, and power lines. The goal: if you want a modern energy grid, you go to China and use their currency. Electricity is more fundamental than oil. You can't run a data center or a smart city on crude. As the world electrifies, demand for power will explode. China wants to control the supply, and the currency you need to access it. This isn't theory. China's Global Energy Interconnection Plan aims to create a planet-spanning supergrid. It's the petrodollar system, reimagined for the electric age. China isn't just selling solar panels, they're building the nervous system of the 21st century economy, and they want the yuan to flow through every wire. The electro-yuan is here. What does an electricity-backed currency look like in practice? Think concrete, steel, and water. The Three Gorges Dam is more than a power plant. It's a symbol of China's ambition. China is replicating this model worldwide, financing and building energy projects with loans in renminbi. Need a dam in Africa or Southeast Asia? China provides the money, the builders, and the tech, all in yuan. Repayment often comes through electricity sales or access to resources, creating a closed loop that bypasses the dollar. For host countries, it's a chance to industrialize. For China, it's contracts, resources, and currency influence. Each project is a node in a growing, dollar-free network. In Pakistan, Brazil, and Argentina, China is building and buying into power infrastructure. These aren't just investments, they're strategic moves to embed the yuan globally. The foundation of the electro-yuan is being laid, 1 megawatt at a time. It's a slow, methodical, and effective strategy. China is building a new financial order, not with armies, but with energy. And the world is plugging in. While China builds the future, America is stuck in the past. The US energy grid is aging, vulnerable, and unprepared for a modern economy. Blackouts from heat waves and wildfires are now routine. Meanwhile, China is building more renewable capacity than the rest of the world combined. They're pioneering ultra-high voltage lines, moving power across vast distances. In the US, new projects stall in red tape. In China, they're built at record speed. The stakes are high. AI, data centers, and electric vehicles all need massive power. US companies warn of electricity shortages that could stifle innovation. China is planning for these demands. America is debating them. The US has the money and tech, but lacks political will and vision. China's state-led model executes long-term plans with ruthless efficiency. The US brings reports to a global infrastructure fight. China brings engineers and cash. The world is watching and choosing sides. To see China's electro-yuan strategy, look at the lights turning on in the global south. Western institutions offered loans with strings. China offers infrastructure now on its terms. In Laos, China financed dams and a railway, turning the country into the battery of Asia. Deals are settled in renminbi, integrating Laos into China's economic orbit. In Ghana, China built the Bui Dam and invested in gas and renewables, often repaid with commodities, not dollars. It's a pragmatic partnership. Ghana gets power, China gets resources and currency influence. In Brazil, China's state grid invested billions building transmission lines from the Amazon to industrial centers. These are strategic acquisitions, not just investments. By controlling power infrastructure, China embeds its technology, standards, and currency. For many in the global south, China isn't just a trading partner, it's their power company. The dollar is being bypassed, one project at a time. China's influence is growing where the lights are just coming on, and the world's energy map is being redrawn. The US and China's rivalry is often framed as democracy versus authoritarianism. But in the developing world, it's a contest of construction. While the US focused on military and ideals, China built roads, ports, and crucially, power plants. China's Belt and Road Initiative is the most ambitious infrastructure project in history. Western responses have been slow and underfunded. When a country needs a power grid, China sends engineers, the West sends reports. This approach is shifting global alliances. China isn't demanding ideological loyalty, just offering development on its terms. This wins goodwill and influence across the global south. By building and operating energy infrastructure, China creates a captive market for its tech and currency. The new world order is being built with concrete and power lines. What does this mean for you? The shift from petrodollar to electro-yuan could change daily life. The dollar's dominance has meant cheaper imports, low interest rates, and easy government borrowing for Americans. If global demand for dollars drops, so does this advantage. Imports get pricier, inflation could rise, and borrowing costs go up. The US may face higher taxes or spending cuts. For others, a multipolar currency world could mean more options, but also more volatility. Developing nations might gain flexibility, but the world could split into rival economic blocs. The days of when in doubt buy dollars may be ending. The global financial system is transforming, slowly but surely. It's not a reason to panic, but to pay attention. Energy and money are deeply connected. The age of oil and the dollar is fading. Electricity and new currencies are rising. Time to check the wiring.